now that I've decided on the name of my channel, I got questions. Welcome to DMV, everyone. This is not exactly the way that I had planned to launch this segment called I Got Questions, about, asking the tough questions and asking those questions that are uncomfortable and that people don't want to have conversations about. Being as though I witnessed another historical event in my life, it was only right that I addressed that in the first video of I Got Questions. So are we still calling people snowflakes? Is that a thing? As far as I'm concerned, someone who can't accept election results and acts like petulant little children are, by definition, the snowflakes. Someone who thinks that everything that they do is right, and if they don't get their way, if it wasn't their person that won, or if they didn't win the contest, then somehow, some way, we cheated. Like that, I feel like that's how I used to act when I was a child, when I was losing to my brother or my cousin at video games. Like, the game was always cheating. It was never just, I didn't really know how to play, or I never really put the effort into learning the game. I feel like the same people who were running up in the Capitol building because the person they picked didn't win the contest are the same people that were hollering about snowflakes and calling people snowflakes and watching Tommy Lauren and her dumbass, and those are the same people that were running up, destroying government property, taking pictures in the speaker's office. I really got to thinking throughout this whole thing, after all that happened this summer and all the George Floyd protests and all the Black Lives Matter protests and things like that, where were my Blue Lives Matter people at when a police officer was losing his life protecting his country's capital? Where were all my Blue Lives Matter people at when this mob of people was chasing a black police officer through the halls of the American Capitol building and telling him that this is their country and he doesn't belong here, or they don't need him here? You guys were very conspicuously quiet. All those people that were hollering about the flag and the troops when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Where were you when the Confederate flag, a flag of treason and insurrection, was parading through the halls of the Capitol building of this country that those same troops are sworn to protect? Where were those, people hollering about the troops when they're trying to overturn and diminish the right that those troops fought for, that make America America? I can't blame this completely on the conservatives on the right wing. All those people who in 2016, were hollering about the DNC and how wrong they were, and how does your protest vote feel now? Really, or your refusal to vote for the only viable candidate to ensure democracy prevailed. How does that feel now? Like, how do you or anyone who voted for this man in either election, like, extricate yourself from this mess? Like, what do you say to yourself to convince yourself that you're not partly responsible for this, if not directly responsible for this? Like, these are the things that I've been thinking about. These are the questions that I have that I need answers to. You know, I've got friends on both sides of the aisle. I have friends that I'm sure have voted for Trump. I have friends that I'm sure have, you know, protest voted or didn't vote at all. And to be honest with you, I love you all, but it doesn't make me think a lot less of you if you don't agree with what I do. But I'll be damned if I'm not gonna call you out on the bullshit. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let you just skate by and try to escape culpability. That's just not who I am. So, as you see, nobody's safe in my criticisms, critiques. That everybody's gonna get it in this segment. Everybody's gonna get it. So, and I wanted this to be a more lighthearted segment, but there was just so much wrong with what we saw. Like, do you see now the difference, the two Americas that we're living in? Do you see now when they had the National Guard and riot police, and for people who are marching to save lives, not because, you know, not because their favorite person didn't win. You know, like, do you see the difference? When tear gas was thrown at these people just so the president could go take a bullshit photo op. And that same man turns around and leads a failed coup of American democracy. Like, I really need to know where you all are coming from, and like, how do you convince yourself that you're not responsible? So, feel free to like, subscribe, send this to your friends, write something in the comments. I really need answers to these questions.